I'm bringing you a review of the Sony Bloggie Touch. Here we are. This is the unit, as you can see, very small and neat. And it's sealed with one of these plastic things, the ones I hate. So let me open this and then see what's inside. I hate these things. I really hate them. I know they're good for keeping the contents secure, but I actually hate them. If you have nails you can pick them off, I guess. I don't, so I can't. And this part I always take ages to do because for some reason this plastic stuff never seems to want to come off. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so now I've managed to cut through this. Let's actually open the box. This, I would guess, is the 360-degree lens. Nothing else in there. Let me put that out of the way. And I also got a plastic case with this, which I'll look at later. Now, the first thing I would say is that the quality of this boxing is ridiculous. This is only a cheap, easy to use camera, and they're presenting it like it's some kind of jewellery. Look at this. So there's even a little tab which you may be able to see here, which I think is to pull out the camera without touching it. Yep, it is. Look at that. This is a velvet lined box. That's amazing. Inside we have a mini instruction manual on how to share. Fantastic. One in some other language, one in Russian, one in whichever. So lots of different languages. So, wow. How many of these am I going to get? Too many. And we have something that tells us not to forget to register. Okay, yeah, we're going to do that. A little bit of advertising. The guarantee. What I guess is quick start, is it? It's not in English, that, anyway, so. That's not in English. That is not in English. And finally, okay, important information. What's important? Let's have a look. That's about the battery. Along with this we get the wrist strap. Fantastic. And a USB extension cable. Wonderful. So now let me take out this rather jewel-like device. I'm almost scared to touch the thing, it's so beautifully designed. Wow, look at this. All this just so that you don't have to touch the device with your fingers. Okay, let me do a close-up on the various items as we work around the actual camera. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, so this is the Bloggie unit. As you can see, a very large and clear screen. Record start and stop button, nice and simple. On the side we have the HDMI output. This little thing here is where the strap goes. Let's have a look at the other side. we have, I think that's the microphone here, on-off switch, and then this is some kind of shutter release button. Underneath we have the memory card slot and an off-center tripod bush. So if you're filming in the normal way, which is landscape, you have the tripod mount on the short axis, which is very difficult for stability, because normally the tripod would be under here. So a tripod that will hold something in this position securely is going to be a bigger tripod, which kind of goes against the whole point of having this small unit in the first place. Let me just find an example of what I mean. So if you use one of these mini tripods, for example, and you put it on here, this is all well and good, but is it going to be stable? Let's have a look. No. So you will need a different kind of a mount on your tripod. It's a bit of a design flaw as far as I'm concerned, but nonetheless that's what we're stuck with. And then at the top, I think this is the speaker. Now I've only just started holding this camera and I can already see, well, fingerprints, so this will mark easily. Now there's a sort of a brushed or anodized steel faceplate here. Looks fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And that one doesn't mark. But on this polished steel, the silvered steel, you're going to get marks aplenty. Okay, let me get this charged up and then show you some sample footage. I've just parked up for a moment to take a quick film. I'm in shade, I'm under trees and so on. The Sony Bloggie Touch is a very nice camera, and when it focuses well, the picture is crisp, pin sharp, in fact it's wonderful. However, this unit's going back. I don't know if it's faulty or there's a design flaw with the Bloggie, but the focus hunts back and forth, and even on a static subject it was hunting back and forth. I did a little test video on 2 cameras and it was hunting back and forth. The Bloggie was stationary, the 2 cameras were stationary, and even then it was hunting and the image size was drifting slightly, which makes it unusable really, which is a shame. So this is the second camera of this type I'm having to send back. The first was the Casio TR100. I did a review on that. You can see the video, the previous video, and I'll put a link up here for you. But this one also has a problem, which is a tremendous shame because I like the camera so much. It's quick startup, the image quality is good, the still image quality is extremely good, the video is good and so on. No flash built in, awkwardly placed tripod mount and that kind of thing, and for low light it's not particularly brilliant. Not bad, but not brilliant. But for the daylight use I was intending to use it for, this kind of thing in fact, I thought it was ideal, and it turns out it's not, and it's very disappointing. So this one's going back, and hopefully this video will have turned out sharp enough for you to see, but maybe it won't, maybe it will hunt back and forth, we'll see. Either way, the unit's got to go back. So I'm still looking for a suitable vlog type camera. Hopefully I'll find one soon. So I have an old Sony Cybershot, and just for fun I thought I'd do a little video clip using that in exactly the same setup as I did a moment ago with the Sony Bloggie Touch. Now I reviewed the footage from the Sony Bloggie Touch here, and I had the hunting back and forth. So the image problem I was talking about actually occurred, and the focus was drifting slightly. Now, I haven't reviewed the footage from this HX5v, that's the model, which is an older model, but from what I've seen of footage in the past, I don't expect it to be hunting in the same way. So it will be interesting to compare the two, and I think what I may end up having to do is just use this Cybershot model. It's a great camera, has lots of low light facilities, good video quality, it's got a flash built in and so on. It's just not as pocketable and it's not as convenient and all the rest of it. But hey, if the image quality is what I need, then maybe I've got to stick with what I've got. If they come out with something that does the job, then you know, I'll keep checking, but at the moment finding the perfect vlogging camera does appear to be an uphill task, which is a shame. So anyway, compare the two types of video, guys, and see what you think. I again suddenly had an idea. I've done a little split screen take two. I've done a split screen test so that I have the Sony HX5v and the Sony Bloggie Touch side by side, recording me from the same position as near as makes no difference. What I will do is split screen these like this so that you can see both images side by side, and you'll see whether there is focus hunting on the Bloggie and how the HX5v is pretty rock steady. Admittedly, there is a difference in the angle of view in both of them, so you'll have to take that into account. The Sony has a slightly, the Cybershot has a slightly wider angle lens, which also has a mark on it, I've noticed, which will lower contrast a little. So the image should be sharper than you're seeing now, but certainly it's not bad. I think the Sony goes down to 25mm equivalent, and the Bloggie Touch goes down to 37mm equivalent, I believe. So anyway, that's a little split screen video for you to compare these directly so that you can see overall image quality. The Bloggie is still going back, which is terribly disappointing, and I'm still in the clouds. I'm somewhere else now, but I'm still in the clouds, and it's actually started to rain a little bit, so I would expect even better quality in good weather, but at least it gives you an indication of how it performs when the weather is not so good. So final verdict on the Bloggie, it's fantastic. The sharpness is amazing, the ease of use is fantastic, but the focusing is a real problem. It's a pain, because it takes away from what could be, potentially anyway, a really extremely good camera for this kind of application.